Alright, hey everybody, and after having to wait for, I don't know, 6-7 minutes or something, I actually found a ranked game. Yeah, to save you all from having to watch yet another game versus Balanced, I queued up ranked with Scandinavia, as you can see. I haven't played it a lot in past months, but I did change one little thing, and that is replace the Jeep with the STR V90CV or STRF 90CV version, the Strip Vive 90. Yeah, I don't know who I'm playing against. Not on my friend list. I assume he's from somewhere in Eastern Europe, but whatever. Since we don't know what he is playing, and since we can't know whether he's playing blue or red, since we're playing blue for and have the blue team color, we have basically no information to go with here. So and I think Scandi is like either really strong or really weak in any given matchup, depending on map, depending on who you're playing against, and depending on what deck you're playing against. Of course, every playstyle, every deck, favors certain opponents' playstyle stacks and maps, but with Scandi, there's like no in between. Either you're gonna have a really good time or you're gonna have a really hard time, and that's also kind of what makes it exciting. Um, let's see if he's so nice to wait. Thank you very much. Don't see that very often. Not everyone does that. Some people are assholes. I don't even know what our plan is. Like I said, it really depends on what they're playing. I don't think we can go for Alpha. I think I'm going to try to go for Fox. In which case, let's get one of you. Honestly, I'm gonna start with an automatic for this side as well. Not gonna leave us with a lot of points, like at all. Jesus, maybe I'm not gonna start with an automatic after all. Let's get you 105, 1A5. Sorry. No mortar, but honestly, we don't really need a mortar as much. Yeah, this is gonna be a tough one. Basically, having to start with 2 CVs and a fob can be really awkward. But what are you gonna do? All right, let's go. I have a bad feeling. I don't like this. Screw it. Do the automatic. Get this one over there and water. Maybe that's gonna be the wrong decision, but yeah. No risk, no fun, I suppose. Actually, you're gonna go in there. I'm just hoping that there's not gonna be a helo drop here. Or in general, I'm hoping for not a lot of helicopter usage. Those are 3 so-calls. Yeah, those are all the AA versions. So I don't know if he was expecting a healer rush or a healer drop, but that seems like a waste of points. I'll have to watch the replay after that. I'm very confused right now. There's 60 PP. Interesting. Elite, so those are with Erikois. Can only explain that with the fact that he used the... XA185 KT cards on something else. Not RBS 56 there. Attack with these, see if we can get done. Put you into this bush there. Let's get the RBS 90 just as a backup in case our AA dies. Another one of you here. Let's sneak one of you around. I am certainly liking the slow start so far by him. I'm very vulnerable to a Jurgen here, however, so I have to watch out for that. Get another 1A5. Right, I don't have any defense there. Super Primo, so he did unload Erikois back there. Turn you off. Now he knows for sure. He probably expected it, but now he knows for sure that I have an automatic. So he might buy a seat very early on. Merida. Is he playing motorized? No. Not playing motorized. Otherwise these Erikois would be on elite. Oh, another Erikoi squad unloaded there, probably. Already a second CV. Actually fine. Let's also buy a second CV, actually. Let's put this preemptive smoke screen up. There are the Erikois. It's MS-17s. Merida has poor optics, so it can't spot my M1A5 shooting at it. That's why the Merida is not very good. One of the reasons why it's not very good is that seat. Yes, it is. How did I know that? Well, plain model and veteran C. That's an SE22, and I'm pretty sure only the seat version comes at this veteran C. And of course it was also kind of obvious that one of the first responses after seeing an automatic would be buying a seaplane. Right, let's not forget to unload these. Turn your guns off. If you just sit there for now. Let's also put you in the building. Uniforest there. No, we can't move you up just yet. And let's also turn you off. Nearly forgot that I had turned on. And they're gonna stop the Erikois for now, so let's, for starters, just get these as a defensive measure. The Erikois will be able to spot, but other than that, they shouldn't be able to do much damage for now. My 17 is in a bad position, basically not allowing me to push up into the town. So we're gonna take it slow and buy a CV for Charlie next. There's seat once again. And I think let's buy Charlie CV next, like I said. Let's try to bait this seat. Get this first. Flag. Hopefully not me. Hopefully not him either, because I wanna... Yeah, thank you. I obviously want to continue this game. Drive you up again. Nice. He's like, oh, it's turned on, it's turned on. Oh, he's not going for it, he's not going for it. If he's smart, he's gonna buy an ATGM plane. Snipe my automatic. Let's also buy... You know, let's just buy some more RBS 90. In case I should lose the automatic, be it to seaplane or literally anything else. I want to have some decent backup against the MS-17s, and one RBS 90 is not gonna cut it. RBS 90 is spotted by those Erikois, so let's move it up a bit in this direction. Let's smoke this off in case these spados are in the town, so we can at least check the forest. Are you out once again already? That's another Samusti. So probably spikes in there if I had to guess. Yeah, speaking of that, let's buy a beacon next. Especially if all that he uses is Jeep CVs. That can really be a pain in the ass. And if we know the position of his spikes, we can also snipe these out. And I think we should actually work on killing these so he can't actually just spot our reinforcements and stuff anymore. Let's start firing. Is that heavy artillery by him? It is. Interesting. That's where they are. Let's get you out because you're just gonna lose. By supply truck. Move your identity open to draw the fire of D55. Shit, can't spot it. But we're taking at least for now. Let's move you back up. Didn't kill it, it's not surprising. I didn't have direct line of sight. And I also didn't really exactly know where it was. There the decoys, okay, that's good to know. Let's buy a scout defender. Also buy, you know what, yeah, let's buy a CV here. We're gonna play the long game, so let's not give him the opportunity to get a +1 tick. No. Well, no, it's too late. I was gonna say no, let's actually buy Stormer and try to storm the town. But I decided against it, actually. Well, no, I didn't decide against it, I was kind of forced to be against it because the CV ended up being bought, so that's unfortunate, but it's really not the worst thing that could have happened. Okay, there they are. As long as I outnumber them 2-1, I should be able to win very easily, especially with mortar support. And you can see they're shaken, and my squads are still calm now. They're stunned. Nothing can do. Okay, let's just shell this for now. Give a shift command here because he has heavy artillery, so he could try to counter me. Those are Spados 90, so they have heavy anti-tank power, but they also have less range than the base Spados. Let's not forget that we have these as well. Get another scout. I like the position here, but I also would like to have one in that forest if possible, so I can actually get line of sight on whatever he has in here. Just keep smoking this. I like to have them here in the open, so I can quickly get them out there and shoot if something ends up being here, and they're not stuck in there. But at the same time, I'm also worried what he's doing with his points, because I haven't really seen a lot of units for a while now. And I think that's the only thing that can actually do some damage here, but let's just be safe and scatter these around. And let's let's get some more RBS 90 going. Safe, let's get like a CV 90 as well. Move you back so you can also get repaired. They're not hovering low, so I can't more RD them. He's trying to counter RD me, but I did move my beacon, so Unless he has a scout in my base. Oh, he captured Delta as well. He should be able to kill me. I should move it a bit back from the fob so he doesn't like accidentally kill my fob. Fob is very crucial for me. Right, now let's buy some Stormers. They're gonna be our key for attacking the town. I'm gonna smoke this off. And with the RBS 90, if needed, we will kill the MI-17s and then just walk in with our Stormer, and with superior numbers and superior firepower, just kill his infantry. It's gonna already this, but it's gonna take a while until this dies. It's obviously not impossible, only 2 top and 2 back and 3 side armor, so by no means immune to HE damage, but still obviously, those are spike, significantly more survivable. Okay, so there's spike in there, like a lead I missed. You don't see that very every day. I'm not gonna go for the RT just yet, I think. I think that's not worth doing. I should pay attention to where his artillery is, probably, since I have nothing to fire at. But I also don't want to just blindly fire too much, because it does drain the fob very quickly. Alright, let's see what we have here. Move you up, you know, just to test the waters. You in here, turn the guns off. Get our Scania back. Smoke you off. Let's not forget he still has a... I think I'm gonna cluster just before I attack. It's gonna panic and damage every tanks he has. Also panic infantry. Ideally. What did just take damage? Probably my fob? I actually don't know at all. It's an IDA 90. This is so cool. Shouldn't really be able to spot me, but I don't want to take chances. Here 60 VB with more decoys. Move the mortar up and let's get a new mortar as well. Let's just first smoke this off. Oh, probably just the artillery in mid. Yeah. Well, that's a T-55 recon that. Oh, he moved back too early. He could have gotten another shot off on my Leopard and killed it. It's unfortunate for him. Great for me. Just move you up to potentially soak some fire by the MS-17s. Final fire. Then you're gonna move here. Probably have 2 stacks instead. And I wait before I move up the other squad because I want them to move up basically at the same time. Cluster in there now. Buy a CV because it's slow and it's gonna take a while until it's there. Oh, I completely forgot that MI-17s might have line of sight, so that would be pretty bad as well. Yep, there we go. That's 20. So also gonna see what AA he has. That's a heavy AA, I think, or maybe just an OZA. Get into the same building, there we go. Up, let's move here up a bit. They're just dying by artillery, that's fine. Just buy some more vehicles though, so we have some better defense. Oh, I completely forgot the deer out in the open. Well, now they're out of rocket pods at least. Let's move you in there. Another squad of you. Move you up. and then fire you in there. Took a lot of damage here, but obviously no kill. I'm tempted to buy a cluster and seaplane, and you know, I just bought a cluster plane. Our new seed. This up. Let's get this in the building here. You're supposed to be in there. Buy some more infantry. Dragoon are gonna be amazing defensively. We're gonna go for the 20. The 20 is also panicked, by the way, by the beacon, which is obviously great. Send in the path a bit too early. Doesn't matter. That's a book or never. I think it's a book. Doesn't matter. I missed. I got one shot, I think. Although the T does have Erika, so they also could have gotten a hit. I didn't pay a lot of attention. Did a lot of damage to. Ooh, did I kill it? I killed the 20. It's amazing. 20 for cluster plane is a trade that I'll take any day of the week. Another scout defender. Turn you off before I forget. Actually did take a lot of damage. So let's buy a supply truck. Did I just recklessly lose the leopard? Fortunate. But I did manage to get a shot out without while he was still reloading. It was just a bit too slow. Let's get you in there. Are you? You are in there. I mean, overall, it's going pretty fine. He keeps arguing this, and you know, eventually he'll probably get it. If it gets down to 2 damage, I'll move it out a bit, or I'll end up repairing it. In there with rocket pods, he should be able to do enough damage. And honestly, it's got a 1-to-1 here. I forgot to give you an order, I did. Ooh, if the RT came out a bit earlier, he could have stunned me right when I was turning it, or just before I was turning it off, forcing me to stand still when I turned the gun off, and thus, you know, not being able to, you know, juke missiles out. Let's get another RBS. Got some shit with you. But you're getting repaired, it's very good. That's MiG-29? Yeah. Downwetted polished MiG-29. Beacon didn't really. There's one CV. Let's wait until the first few shots are out and then let's move out of the way. Right. I think we can move you a bit closer to the edge. Yeah. But we don't really see much more anyways. Let's move you up here. Let's Let's get you into this forest just so it's safe. And honestly, it probably is just our game now. There's one CV down. I'm gonna be curious. I'm probably gonna lose here, but yeah. And the MS-17, even if it's just an MG. Meridas. They're gonna get one shot by RBS 56 though. Yeah. At 90, going for my scout defender. Let's change altitude, so we see more. See more. Sorry. That's bad. Oh, he has Spados in there. Oh yeah, that's where those two MS-17s came from. Right. That makes sense. Oh, rip. Those are dead supply trucks. Probably try to go for his artillery, I suppose. I think that he has two, right? What's that? Oh no, it's still the MiG-29. I saw the shadow on the ground of a plane. I was like, is it a new plane that he called in? But just this one circling. New gas. It's getting awfully low. Probably just because he has... Wouldn't be surprised if he has direct line of sight on it from these Spados. There's no real great place for me to put it in. Let's move you out and repair. Of course, not forget to move our artillery after firing, because I think if your opponent notices that you're countering RTing them, they're probably also gonna counter RT you. Out of all the units, the supply truck is the one that's still damaged now. It's a bit funny. He could repair others, but not himself. You also need a supply truck for the RBS here. I definitely will want to repair that. Let's get some CV90s for some fire support against those Spados. Alpha is secured again, so let's see if we can spot it again. I wouldn't be surprised if there's also just an infantry CV in the town. This scenario is the reason why I replaced the Jeep with the STRB. Just so, you know, if it comes down to situations like this, I don't have a CV that dies us instantly. Obviously, I do have 2 CVs less in total. I have 8 CVs instead of 9. And on a map like this obviously could be annoying, but at the same time, the chance of my CV surviving, like actually surviving and not dying, is obviously also much greater. So, in most situations, if there's like an air decoy right behind my CV, I think it doesn't really matter if it's a Jeep or a STRB, but especially when it comes to like artillery, that obviously does make quite a big difference. Those are tanks, so he's quite serious about attacking in mid now, huh? In there, maybe we can at least kill one of them. Let's just aim a bit in front, or like at the edge here, in case he decides to try to dodge into it, like drive towards me to dodge them. But the nice thing about T-55s is they have only 1 top armor. 2 top armor, excuse me. And that's probably both of them dead. Yep, both dead. Let's also smoke this. I completely forgot that I have you. Because you're an ATGM plane magnet. Can you repair it again? I'll put you in here. Move you back so you also get repaired. Let's see, let's get you into this forest. I don't want to get too close to the Alouette because it will spot the Marinejäger. Marinejäger, not Jägere. I'm sorry for saying the wrong word. The word wrong. You said the word wrong. Ha! What a fool! I'm not gonna fire just now. He's moving the alloy away actually, that's really, that's how awfully nice of him. The CV90s should provide amazing fire support. Let's move them out of the forest. Alright, they're still alive, I actually forgot. I'm wondering, did I get one of his artillery? I did. It's a Telak 91. And it's fire. Wait. Is it... Excuse me? Get back up there. That's the one I told to repair the fob, right? But it was down to 4 HP when I drove down here. When it was still here, it was like 1 HP or something. Weird. Out of T55, so he's very serious about getting back in there, I assume. Let's just get a second automatic here. And let's get some... Let's get another 1-to-1. Oh, yeah, 1-to-1. And some CV90s. Probably also get an ASF to protect my cluster bombers and try to go for a cluster bombing run, but... See, if I get more experience, I did kill it. If I didn't kill it already. It's a nice way to... If you do indirect attacks, like bombers or artillery, that's a decent way, usually, of checking whether you killed either the target or at least something. Obviously, if you got a lot of experience, that's most likely going to be a CV, or when it comes to cluster bombers, a heavy tank, because the XP you gain, I'm pretty sure, is solely dependent on how expensive the unit that you killed is. And also, well, that for one, and secondly, also how expensive the unit, your unit is, right? If you kill a super heavy with a 10-point tank, you know, it instantly becomes elite. If you kill it with your own super heavy, you obviously still gain a lot of experience, but you're not instantly elite. That is the big difference. I'm not sure where you put this CV. Honestly, it's put you in there and then attack move there. It could be that it's like in here in the forest. And if I'm that close, I can just kill it with the Marinejäger itself. And at this stage of the game, you know, if I kill the CV, but then... Oh, there it is. There it was. Right, let's... And there's the other CV. I'll give a shift fire command there. Let's hope we're stealthy enough to not get spotted. Alright, they're dead. Man, those Marinos are not a good choice against RBS 56. Still firing at this, but no ill will. Alright, you can stop there now. Firing here. The CV is probably gonna be dead, right? Maybe not, because I didn't get to do it direct. Oh, that was the last shell. Why do I get this luck in like games where it doesn't really matter? You know, why do I not get this kind of luck in like games versus Putin or something? Man. I lost my automatic, but I have a new one on the way. Let's buy some ASFs. Get these cluster planes out. Let's just cluster in there. Those are spikes in there. I don't understand. Well, it's clearly not the most experienced player. Downwetting the polished mix. Oh god, both instantly got critted. Why do I not get this luck when you know I'm having these very hard games? Must be also frustrating for the opponent. But maybe it is frustrating, but at the same time it's also a good lesson as why you should have CVs that don't like die to artillery that quickly. I'm not saying you should replace your Jeep CV with tank CV that you only get 3 per card off or something. You should obviously still have a decent amount of CVs, and you should, and your CVs for the most part, should be pretty affordable. But at the same time, in these matchups, when your opponent has, you know, such artillery, having survivable CVs is crucial. And you saw that as well. He artillery this STRB and this one. Both would have died if those were Jeeps. Both would have died to like the second, third, fourth shot or something. But it didn't because they have armor. So I think I didn't kill the CV. And he managed to get it out of... Oh no, I did kill him. He just rebought it pretty quickly. But we're still taking it at +4, and this game should be over. It's attack move view over there. You know, if he buys another gas and it drives down the road, I can kill it there. Yeah, also not the best Baltic front deck that I've faced in my quote-unquote career. In my overall playtime. That's the term that I was looking for. But yeah, there's no reason why we should be aggressive, and it's also... I've said it many times before, but pushing further beyond that is usually not worth doing. I think in this situation we probably could do it because I think KD-wise we really demolished him. Oh, I think I killed another CV. Oh no, I killed a T-55 Recon. I mean, no, I'm fine with that. Did we kill? We didn't kill Bravo CV. Oh, he probably just moved it because he realized the T-55 Recon is dead. But it's fine by me. That's just... Alright, I wanna see this. Sokol has a terrible gun because it is fixed, and it's also a bit buggy at times. So I think there's a very good chance that we're actually gonna win. I'm gonna turn you off for... Oh no. Gun and thing have the same range, but if we fire, we're gonna get spotted probably because the Sokol has medium optics, and then the rocket pods of the MI-17 will kill us. Well, not the most exciting game, but at the same time, sometimes it's a bit hard to get actually very exciting games with Scandinavia. I think my I don't know if I'm best, but I think the most exciting game that I have played with Scandinavia was the Game 5 versus Greyhound in a tournament on Punch Bowl. I don't know if it was Game 5. I think it was Game 5 of the first set of the Grand Finals. That was against Commonwealth on Punch Bowl. It was such a great game. All right, well, this is a Steam Kirill. I don't know who this is, but Kirill is usually a name that I give my RPG characters. Yeah, but you know, clearly only, you know, quote unquote only a lieutenant colonel, so less experience. So it was a pretty one-sided match. Automatic didn't do much. You know, he did his seed play was honestly pretty good. He wasn't aggressive with the seed. He let it circle, forcing my automatic turn off, and probably just hope I'd make a mistake, which happened in the end. Although by then it didn't really matter. So he wasn't like over aggressive with the seed. That was well played by him. The openers seemed pretty bad, but I think he might have just tried to play it as safe as possible because he didn't know what to expect. I think if you're up against this much higher rank than you, like he is now, then you probably shouldn't try to protect against healer rushes, which I don't know if that was the reason why I bought so many Sokols, but if it was, you shouldn't do it. For one, I think most very, very high rank players, at least like Lieutenant General upwards, they tend to not healer rush unless your name is Valkotman. And secondly, even if it happens, the elo difference is so big that you barely lose any rank points. So you lost like maybe 1 or 2 elo points in the span of 3 or 4 minutes. So in the end, who cares? Obviously, you know, if rank is important to you and you play against someone who's close to your rank, or below your rank, then it's a different story. But if you're so much below your opponent's rank, then that is just something to keep in mind. But yeah, the not the automatic, the beacon 3 CVs. Oh, that's actually P1, yeah. So that's the 10 HE. That's a Malka-esque artillery. Interesting. I wouldn't do that if you have access to the Telak 91 personally. Falskimjäger, they're defensively they're so good. They're one of the few squads where getting 5 extra HP for 5 extra points is so damn worth it. Usually it's not for many squads, but this is one of the squads where it most definitely is. I think the fact that you have access to Stormer, 20-point MG3 calculus of M2 with good transports, makes that even better. So you don't have to, so Falskimjäger 90 are not your only good shock infantry, because if they were, obviously that'd still be great, but sometimes you want the cheap, more affordable infantry, right? But I like having these two. They work so well together in a deck. Not necessarily in direct combat, because they have the same anti-infantry weapons, but like when it comes to like building a deck and the role of your infantry, those two are just more or less everything you need, except for an ATGM squad. Obviously, I also have line infantry, but you could get away with just these two squads because Stormer is still great. Maybe these T-55s just got murdered by the RBS. I didn't say any M1 Wilks. M1 Wilks are so M1 Wilks and the like. Well, these medium tanks, the good medium tanks, they're so good against Scandi, because the only tank that I have to properly counter them is an STRV 121. In theory, STRV 103C or D at closer ranges obviously will also murder them, but you can abuse the fact that I have no stabilizers so well, at least when you're not attacking. When you're attacking and the opponent has 1 or 3 tanks on it defensively positioned, can be a bit bad, but with a bit of smoke usage, building up smoke in front of them so they have to like attack, move out of it or something, then you can still kind of abuse them. But generally, M1 Wilks are so good against Scandi. And obviously the fact that they don't get one-shot by RBS 56s is also very nice. Come to think of it, I think I will quickly go over the replay, but I think I'll also import the deck. Which is also something that I want to bring back, that is the sort of deck showcase. You send in decks, I play with the deck, and then I make adjustments. I think I did that like 2 years ago or something, very early in my when I did YouTube videos. So I might bring that back. I've even a T-55 CP, so he does have armored CVs. That is very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, I think no real out of the ordinary kills. Let's quickly go over the replay, like 10x speed or something. One sec. Alright. I just had a small heart attack. But everything's fine. Alright, let's quickly take a look at this replay. I want to take a look at the opener to see if he was trying to... No, I think he was simply trying to stop a helo drop. I mean, the so-calls are not the worst helicopters to do that in ranked if you don't know your opponent's deck, because with the rocket pods and the, albeit a terrible one, and the autocannon being the terrible thing, they're not like worthless after the opener. Like if he was playing Eurocore and he had 3 Celtics instead, that'd be absolutely horrible, because they're more or less useless if your opponent doesn't bring helicopters. Sohols are okay, like I said, because they still have anti-ground weapons, so they have multi-purpose, but they only have 20 rounds in rocket pods, and the gun, like I said, is pretty bad. So there are no Cephas, there are no Dabs, and the Dabs, while it doesn't have rocket pods, has amazing guns. But even still, 3 is just way too much. And he had two super pumas, but he had one dropping here and one dropping somewhere there. So it's not like he used them aggressively to get a healer drop or something there. In which case I kind of understand it, but this is just a very, very big mistake. And even then, 2 circles would have still been plenty. 3 is just overkill. Also, oh no, never mind. I was gonna say very light on the flank, but the stuff was just here. IDO 90 is also, considering that you have so many anti-air capabilities, IDO 90 and 2 other cores is just also overkill in terms of AA. So the 90 points, 85 points could have really been saved here, especially considering that he has to start with 2 CVs and the FOB just like I do. Yeah, just a lot of points on AA. So maybe it was kind of a safeguard against a healer rush because he didn't know who he was facing against. In which case I can kind of understand it, but yeah. Actually, I'm curious if I ever killed them or if they just stayed there. But I think that explains a lot. Which also means that I easily could have just, even probed there because he didn't have any spikes, at least not as of now. So I could have easily probed there, got into this forest and done a lot of damage. Okay, now he gets a spike. So not as easily done, but theoretically possible. Why is this CV very early? Yes, the P1, yeah. I did damage it a bit, but not much. Also, 30 seconds aim time mean that considering that I moved after every salvo or very late in the game after 2 salvos, it's basically impossible to counter me. But yeah, I think we don't really have to look at too much here. There's a T55 from it, probably after he realized that I have a beacon, so good thinking. I don't understand why he didn't buy a CV, tank CV after the gas got killed, or at the very least put the gas in like a very unusual position, like I don't know, in this town or something. It's a bit aggressive, of course, but if you pay attention, you can still very much save it in case you get pushed here, but certainly not a position that you'd expect. So I don't know why he put it again in the same forest-ish. Fortunately, nothing of this forest gets into here, so it could have been a cheeky position as well. Yeah, T55 CV. Oh no, right. The T55 CV does have only 1 top armor, which is why I think it's bad. I think all of the T55 CVs have 1 top armor. They're all just the basic T55As. The Meridas have 2. Well, it just died. But I quickly got a unit card up, but I think it only has 2. Recon for sure has 2 as well. There's the gas CV, that's why he retreated it when I killed this CV there. 40 died. And that's a never, not the book. But stat-wise, same missile. Same amount of missiles as well. I think I never killed it, did I? But yeah, okay. Let me quickly open up the replay and take a look at this deck. We can take a look and then, well, unless you're, whoever or Kirill, if you're watching this video, which is statistically unlikely, that obviously gonna be useful to you. If not, I hope that this is still like useful to you, even if you yourself know that it's a not optimal deck, but maybe you can still learn as to why certain units or something are not necessarily that great. Right, very heavy on the tank tab. Like I said, the M1 Rig is would be great against my deck, and is in general such a good tank. So I would for sure put in this. I think only one of these is enough. If you prefer just 3 per card and you don't really mind losing on AP and armor, although you do gain RPM, and if you just want the general, heaviness, as in like 20 armor, 22 AP, if you don't really care if it's 23 armor, 21 AP, and you just want to be heavy in terms of, to deal with medium tanks or heavier tanks, but you don't necessarily plan on dueling super heavies anyways, you can obviously easily go for the 20 instead. If you prefer the 3 per card, and the non-RPM makes it a bit better against infantry. Then it's fine. I personally prefer the mod, but bad stabilizer and They both have 9 RPM. What am I talking about? But a bad save letter can make it a bit awkward, and obviously only having 2 per card. Yeah, but I would for sure go with the M1 Wilk. Merida is not necessary in this deck at all as well, because you have the Riken T55, which obviously is a bit more expensive, but is close enough to the price and does the same job, but much better, because it actually has optics and it has more AP, and the stealth obviously also makes it defensively so much more survivable, making it obviously harder to spawn and thus harder to kill. So you can either just still put in the Twardy as well. You can put in the M2 Wilk, which I like to do, or the Painf, or the Charioteer for some amazing fire support and good, also in case you needed, good meat shield. I mean, the fire support itself for 15 points isn't great, but the fact that it's also very survivable is what it makes great. Support I-90 is fine. Pivonia, like I said, if you really like the sniping and the 10 HE, and if you have if you have direct line of sight on something, and you want to kill something with like a single shot, or if you have 2 of them with like 2 shots, and your opponent, if you know your opponent's very observant of what's happening and might move after he spots that a single shell hit it, if you need that accuracy, then sure, you can go for it. Still, I'd go for the Tag 91, and they have the same dispersion. The Pivonia is not even more accurate. Really? Does Finland have a more accurate howitzer? No. Well, I mean, then obviously there's still the HE difference, but the Telag is just much better because it has a 10 second aim time. So definitely go for this. Ideally, you'd go for the Jurgen, because Jurgen is just so much more usable and universal. Well, not usable, but yeah, universal. More useful, I guess I should say. And it has usually a more immediate impact, whereas tube artillery generally takes a while to get its points back. So these can sometimes be a bad investment, because, like I said, out of the Jurgen, you can very easily, with the first salvo, change the tide of the battle, completely turn the game around. Telag 91 and tube artillery in general, most of the time cannot, unless you manage to kill 1 or more CVs in a very short time. So ideally, I think the Iraq 91 is just better, but if you want to go for tube artillery for some reason, I would definitely go for the Telag 91. Neva is fine, although such an expensive anti-air piece that is also pretty far back behind the front line. You probably don't need more than 4, so I would definitely upvet this for that extra accuracy. I-90, I would personally upvet as well, but it's also usually closer to the front line, and in general is so good, you can go for downvetting. Telag 71, it's fine. It's a decent mortar. Has low ammunition, considering it has only 3 HE. The lower the HE, the more shots you fire per salvo, and the more shots you need for a proper smoke screen. I'd prefer this one, because the HE is also better. It has more range, but it's not really a huge deal. If you as long as you don't use the 6 HE mortar, that's fine. Infantry is usable outside of commando. Well, it's certainly usable. You can easily win games with this. Commandos, I'm not a fan of, but if you for some reason definitely want infantry for elite infantry for town grinding, sure. But at the same time, you could go for Katin Yakari, which I believe have elite infantry SMG stats, or at the very least significantly better, or at least rate of fire, not stats, but I think they have elite SMG rate of fire, if I'm not wrong. Actually, you know what? Let me just quickly check that. But even then, usually I think it's not needed. What I'm missing here, however, is cheap infantry meat shields. I would personally prefer replace the Yakari 90 with the Yakari 90 in the BTR 50, because they're so universally useful. You still have the KT with the Erik Panzeri, and yeah. Let me just quickly. What's Delta Force? They have an SMG. Yeah. Katin Yakari, they have the same rate of fire on their SMG as elite infantry, so pound for pound, I think they're probably more effective than Commandosi, considering they're cheaper. Obviously, outside of town fights, they're not useful at all, so this is why I personally just don't use them, period. But if for some reason you definitely want some pure town fighting infantry, I think they might be better. And the KRKK, also very good fire support unit. This is generally fine, but like I said, I don't think the T55 CVs are good at all. And if you want to use one, use the Polish one, because the Polish one has better optics. Although it has worse autonomy, but I think the better optics are actually come into hand, are more handy more often than not. Although the MG is also worth noting. It's tough to say, actually. The MG is it's nothing to scoff at because it can save your life against helicopters. Still, I'd just go for the T-72CV, personally. T-55 generally not very useful, but honestly, there's not too much to choose from. Sturmy, I guess, is one unit to use, which I think is generally underrated, but just not used because most people just put a charioteer in their deck. If you can't put it in, or if you don't have the space, you can also put in the Sturmy instead. Recon type is generally fine. Honestly, nothing to complain about. Obviously, BTR-60PB only chosen because he didn't have a third card of KTs. If he obviously, I think he would definitely choose the KT over the PB if he replaced one of the KTs here. BMP-1 KT can be very useful, of course, but also tends to run out of ammo very quickly. Helo type is fine as well. No hinds at all, though. So if in this position, you might want to replace the HH10 with the Mi-24W, because even if it's not a very good hind, just having a hind in general can be very nice. But the HH10 is perfectly fine. It's a good helicopter. It's also so much more affordable, and also more dangerous to heavier tanks. It's fine. It's also slower and more easily killable, at least when it comes to HP. It is also very smaller though, so no KT is also most people like to run Sokol on the KT. It's not a must-have unit by any means, but it's also generally, I think, too good to pass up. No anti-tank plane at all, except this one. So definitely use the Syria, because the Syria is Fire and Forget and has more AP. Fire and Forget means it's more consistent, but also more survivable, because it doesn't have to dive as deep, and in nearly every scenario more useful. If you want to kill 2 medium tanks that are either damaged or get one-shot by this, sure, in theory this SU-22 might be better, but generally speaking the Syria, of course, much better. MiG-29 if you use it upwitted, but generally I think the Finnish MiG-29 also upwitted is better. It's a fine rocket pod plane. Most people prefer the Hawk because it's a low price HE bomber. And the Seed is also fine. Might want to upwet it, but it fires 2 missiles at once, so it's also just very consistent, so upwetting is not necessary. But yeah. Even though it was I don't know if there was anything stupid, so I just preemptively cleared it. Or even if it was not the most entertaining game, maybe. I hope you still enjoyed it. Giggity indeed. And I'll hopefully see you next time. Oh yeah, and let me know what you think of, every now and then or something, taking a look at your opponent's deck and seeing what could be done, in my opinion, and also what you think about briefly going over the replay. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll hopefully see you next time.